Before we start, everyone check your phones, please. Make sure all the phones are on silence or turned off.
Maharaj, I wanted to turn it off, but by mistake I turned it on. Maharaj, I wanted to turn it off, but by mistake I turned it on.
Yeah, no. Yeah, by mistake, turn it off.
Good Maharaj. Shruti smriti purananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavat padam shankaram lokashankaram. So this Shankaracharya, seeing the one without second reality, and at the same time is able to see that reality manifests as all this. So this is a total vision, a complete truth. So this complete truth he is sharing with us in this great hymn, Dakshinamurti Stotram. And this fourth verse, I like it very much, I quote it very often. Nana chidra ghatodara sthita maha deepa prabha bhaswaram jnanam yasya tu chakshuradi karana dvara bahispandate janamiti tameva bhantam anubhati etat samastam jagat tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Obeisance to Sri Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru, whose consciousness is flowing through the senses like eyes, etc., even as a powerful light kept within a pot full of holes, flowing out through the holes, following whom the resplendent one, this whole world is shining and thinks, I know. Now, earlier that Sat aspect was elaborated, that how this world appears to be real, where the isness comes from. Now, where this knowing aspect appears from, again the same answer, that one is knowledge itself. And its knowledge appears in this world. This world is only its manifestation. So, that knows and therefore we know. That knowledge appears in us. How? A beautiful analogy. That think of a pot with lots of holes to that pot. And imagine a light kept in the pot. Now through those holes, the light within the pot gets shining. The light appears through those holes outside. But the light is not of those holes. The light is of that lamp kept within. It is shining through all the different holes. Our organs are like the holes. The knowledge of the self goes out from these holes. This is, and thus we know this world. We see. Why this world is here? Because I see it. What do you mean? I see it. This is appearing of that one reality through the eyes, that is seeing the world. Same, I hear, that very reality, that source of knowledge comes out through these holes called ears. Same thing about the sense of this touch, smell, and so forth. Yeah, all these appear as these light coming through these holes. All these holes, they do not give any knowledge, friends. And gradually we get into this misunderstanding that these holes are bringing light to me. It is not true. That holes are only distortion of the light within. That light appears through these holes as per the sizes and shapes of the holes. That is how that light manifests. But the light is not of those holes. The light is from the lamp within. So, therefore, we should see this truth that the world is real not because I see it. It is not real, but the light appears through these holes. Therefore, we sense it. And it is not the true picture at all. So, the light is within. That is the one source of knowledge. Nana chidra ghato darasthita mahadipa prabhabhaswaram. That Atman is the source of all knowledge. When that gets out through the organ of vision, we see. It is the Atman that is appearing as all this. Through the eyes, it appears as sight. The same Atman appears as sounds. That through when that Atman goes out through this holes called sound. So that is how all this universe, and which is how do we say that it is real? Because we can sense it through all these sense organs. No, it is just manifestation of that one light. That one light alone is. That one source of knowledge alone is. That is appearing in so many forms. Yeah, our knowing is that. So this is a very important idea, friends, that the knowledge is only of the Atman. Atman manifests through these holes, and Shankaracharya says here, I know this, janami iti tameva bhantam, that you alone shine, and then anubhati iti etat samastam jagat. The universe is that very light. It is the paraphrasing of the verse in the Kathopanishad. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That one shines. And that is getting reflected and sensed in various different ways. None of that has its own light. We have no knowledge that is our knowledge. It is that one without second manifests or shines forth through all these holes. So it is in Kathopanishad, the organs are called holes. Paranchi, Khani, Vyatruna, Swayambhu. It is these holes. They create an illusion that it is actually there. I see it. Long ago, when one Swami I was then a college student, and then the Swami was telling about this world being, just not real. God alone is real. This world is an appearance. And then I said, but it must be real because I see it. And he said, you are a science student, so I can prove it to you that it is not real because you see it. You are saying that it is real because I see it. Now I can show it to you that because you see it, it is not real. How it is? I could not fathom this sentence. He said, look, what is the process of seeing? Something from that object, call it waves or particles, whatever, photons, and something that comes from that object and hits your this instrument eye, and then that is somehow that image gets construed and you say that you see. So what you are seeing is already that thing, those particles or waves, they have already left that object. So what you are seeing is not the object, but that object minus these particles. So it is not real. What you are seeing is not real because already there is a modification that has gone by the very fact that you are seeing it. So one should say that it is unreal because I see it. Not that it is real because I see it, but because I see it, that proves that it is unreal. It is subject to my sense of vision. It has no objective reality. It is subject to my this vision, sense of vision. If my sense of vision changes, my perception of the world will change. That one man had written a nice article long ago. The man developed cataract. And then just because they developed cataract, all the perceptions changed. Our normal vision and cataract affected vision. Now he started seeing different things. That something he saw that he asked his wife, how did you put on so much weight? Even if wife has put, it is not good to ask, say like that. But now there was no such thing, but because of the cataract, the vision was affected. Oh, there is, why don't you put on light? It is all so dark. No, it is not dark. It is your cataract that is creating that kind of illusion that the things are dark. So, our vision is no proof that it is. Many different creatures have different kind of vision. So, it is, I see, is not the proof that it is. So, this is all the light of this self appearing through different holes. That alone is the illumination. There is a very nice discussion in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The question was asked by the great Gargi to Yajnavalkya, that in what light do we see? And Yajnavalkya answered, in the light of the sun. When the sun is gone, what light do we see with? Maybe with the light of moon. If moon is also not there, sun is not there, moon is not there, then what light do we see with? Maybe stars. If they are also obliterated, then in what light do we see? Yajnavalkya said, maybe we light a lamp. Vidyut, he said, Vidyut. We see with the light of Vidyut, like we are seeing now in the light of this Vidyut, means electricity. If that is also not there, in what light do we see? We see with the light of other organs. Like when there is no light, our eyes are not working. But our other senses, with that we can manage. Once Swahanandaji had come to Providence, and suddenly, I don't want to go into the whole story, but there was suddenly the power in his room was gone. His room alone was affected. So it is, but he, a person of that presence of mind and that determination, he needed to go to bathroom. Imagine, that some 87 years old. And then he, by hands, he knew where he had kept his suitcase. He could see that by touch, this is the suitcase. And then further moved his hand, this is the zip. He opened the zip. And then he knew where he had put the flashlight. And then moved and got the flashlight. And hey, now he could go to bathroom. Because it was a new place, not a very, every day he wouldn't come to Providence, once in a while. And so, thus, even though the eyes were not functional, but he saw using the sense of touch. So, you will see, Yajnavalkya says, you will use your other senses like a blind man goes about. Like that you will see. Okay, if even the sense of touch and other senses are not there, then in what light can one see? You see by the mind. Like you see in dream, even if you have not put on your glasses, in the dream you have no problem in seeing, It is, you can read very well in the dream, even if you have taken off your glasses and kept aside while sleeping. No problem in dream. So you will see by mind, means just as you see in dream. Okay, if that also is not available, very persistent questioner, you say, that even if that is not there, if the light, then you deduce by intellect, by using your logic, you deduce, you see by logic. If that is also not available, then what? Then he says, in the light of this self, you see, and then warns. Don't ask if that light is not there. That is Swayam Jyoti. That whole chapter is called Swayam Jyoti Brahmana. Very beautiful, very illuminating. That light never goes away. That is by nature luminous. It is like that yesterday in the school I asked that how can we be happy? The question was, how can we be happy? I asked counter question. What do you add to sugar to make it sweet? Do you add something to sugar to make it sweet? Sugar by its very nature is sweet. So we by our very nature is happy. So it is that Swayam Jyoti that is of the nature of illumination. And thus you don't need anything else to see. That light will never get extinguished. So that is that light that shines, and after that secondarily everything else shines. That is the original light, and that light never goes off. That is the Dakshinamurti, that is the true teacher, and we salute to that great teacher. So, then, now the next verse is about it is simple. We have actually seen the content of it in multiple ways earlier also, but it is about the relativity of this universe. One certifies other, as it were, that Deham pranamapindriyanyapi chalam buddhim cha shunyam viduh stri balandha jadopamastuhamiti bhranta bhrisham vadinah maya shakti vilasa kalpita maha vyamoha samharine tasmai shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. That people confuse about this Atman. They are confused. They think that it is body. Mostly that delusion is there. I am this body. Yeah, when the body came from Providence to Maryland, I said, I came to Maryland today. I just don't say that the body came to Maryland, because I and body get identified. So that is how pranam, deham pranam. Then the forces, when it is shown that no, this body cannot be you, okay, then those forces which make the body function, prana, that must be the self. No, that also is not self. Okay, then somebody go deeper and say all the organs, and some say no, buddhi, that is the self. All these, some say, like the nihilist Buddhists, say shunya, it is nothing. This is nothing like Atman. All these are to be, the opinions of those who are groping in dark without actually having the direct perception. It is just guesswork. So because of this, Atman must be body, because of this Atman must be mind, because of this Atman must be the intellect. All these ideas, they are the ideas of guesswork. This is the guesswork that goes on without the direct perception. The direct perception is a very different thing. So he says this is the confusion that occurs, that so many opinions about the self, who am I, all these different opinions, that it is bhrantaha, he calls all of them. I don't want to say that what they are like childish. And also he says that Stri Balandha, these days one should not use that word, that like women. So it is not that women are stupid more than women are, but then it is mentioned here that Stri Balandha Jadopama Stuhamiti. For some reason that used to be the idea those days, that they have limited understanding, as if men has unlimited understanding. It is not that. It is, I told you that story once, so many, after such a class, a few women, they pounced upon me, that Swami, this is bad, you tell jokes about women, showing that women are stupid and all that. Why? Are not men stupid? I I tried to calm them. Look, the idea that is that to have some joke. When some dense discussion is going on, you need some relief. And so you need a joke. When women are shown to be foolish, it is taken as joke. When men are shown to be foolish, where is joke? It is fact. So that is why I tell the jokes like that. So it is for at least 5 minutes, temporarily I could ward off that attack, Huh?
Good presence of mind.
Yeah, exactly. Some presence of mind is necessary. So this is actually everybody gets fooled. Bhranta, Brisham, Vadinah, all are talking without any direct knowledge of that topic. It is all really Maya, Shakti, Vilasa, Kalpita, Maha, Vyamoha. We are all in this delusion, having different ideas at different times about what this self is. And these all ideas are born out of delusion. And who removes that delusion? That Guru Murti, that Dakshinamurti is the remover of this delusion, and we see the truth for ourselves. So this is, and then actually the next verse is about the relativity here, that it is this Manas Ullas commentary is very long after some verses. So, now the 6th verse, that it is our awareness, our consciousness changes according to the states. So, this particular 6th verse states that it is that they here the original verse doesn't appear immediately. राहुग्रस्त दिवाकरेन्दु सदृशो माया समाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतो यो भूत्सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागप्स्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यप्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमैदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. In this verse you see the use of a term that is a special feature of the Kashmir Shaivism, that pratyabhijñāyate, hence you recognize, it is a recognition that I am Atman. Because of you forgot that you are the one without second, all-pervading reality, and you recognize now. So, I am that. And thus all confusion vanishes. So it is told that obeisance to Sri Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru, the Self, who in the deep sleep state induced by the withdrawal of the senses, This is the description of the deep sleep state, where all the senses and mind is withdrawn. So you don't perceive anything. Then it is being covered by Maya, like the sun and the moon devoured by Rahu, was existence only, and who at the time of waking recognizes himself as it is I who previously slept. That recognition is there. It is, and you wake up as the same being. Isn't it strange that you were, all the awareness was kind of kept in abeyance. But it never happens that one person got up as somebody else. You never see such a thing happening, that Bhaswatanandji went to bed, slept, and woke up as Atmagyananandji. Imagine, can it happen? It doesn't happen. But why does it not happen? There is some that I locked in there. That is why that you, although you go out, like when you go out of your house, you are not seeing the house anymore. You have gone away for some days, and then after some days you come back. But you have the key, you have locked the house, and then you enter the same house by using the key. You don't enter some other house. You have the key to one house, you go to that house. So similarly, all the senses are withdrawn, and yet you recognize that it is I who had previously gone to sleep and didn't know anything. So that very being who continuously is present, irrespective of your state of waking and dreaming or deep sleep, is always present. So because of that you can recognize, oh, I am the one who had gone to sleep, and now that very I is woken up. Nobody has this awareness that when I went to bed I was one thing, I was such and such person. Now somebody else has woken up. No, the same I wakes up. So, in the sushupti or deep sleep state, the senses merge in the mind, and the mind merges in its cause, ajnana or ignorance. Hence there will be no awareness of the external physical world or the internal mental world. So, but yet, when you wake up, then all these get connected. All the old files, as it were, open up. It is like when you put your computer to sleep. Now, nothing is operating there, but when you put it on, all the old files, if you had properly saved them, they again open up, same as you left them. So exactly the same. That is the difference pointed out in Vedanta, that the difference between the deep sleep state and the state of knowledge, the knowledge of the self are different. In both states, the state of samadhi and state of sleep, in both states, the common thing is that there is no awareness of the external world. But can sushupti, the deep sleep, be therefore called the state of samadhi? Then samadhi is so easy, isn't it? Just, yes, sit in Yogatmananda's class and then you will have samadhi. Yeah, and that is quite natural, yes. the new grooves are made in the brain, so the brain gets soon a bit dizzy. So, and I tell our members, feel free to sleep in the class. Don't worry. Yeah, it is that, oh, then Swami will get annoyed with me. No, I will get annoyed if you start snoring though. Don't snore. While you have the right to sleep, you don't have the right to disturb the sleep of somebody sitting by your side, you say. So don't snore. So it is, and when you wake up, now you are the same person. Oh, I was sitting in the class and then I was listening to this Swami. Then something happened. What happened, you don't know. You can never tell by your own awareness what time you went to sleep. You will remember, oh, this sentence I remember that Swami was telling. But then what happened? What time I slept, you can never tell. At what time exactly the dream began, you cannot tell. Now they put some electrodes and then measure the different types of sleep waves. And through that they can guess. It is a guesswork, not really the exact work. It is a guess that that person, if these waves are seen, then that person must be sleeping. If these waves are seen, that person must be dreaming, and so forth. But the sciences, they have their limitations. So, thus, you recognize, that is the very amazing part, that the one who went to sleep, that very person has woken up now. That recognition comes because of that one without second reality that never changed. So, this recognition indicates that there is something that does not change. It is, you meet a friend, I met a student, we were studying together. When I met some years ago, that was 52 years we had not seen each other. And we were studying together in the 6th grade. And then, so, but how could we recognize? Well, there is the same name is there, and I knew that I am going to meet him, so I was expecting, and so had a picture made in my mind that he would be looking mostly like this. So when I saw, I recognized, hey! He, of course, recognized me because my pictures, here, there, so on our website and so forth. So he recognized more clearly, easily. But how this recognition came? Oh, that is the one, you are that. That recognizing, that recognition of this truth proves that there is this self unchanging. Things change, and yet there is some unchanging entity that records the changes. That does not change, and that is the instrument of recognition. That this is a very beautiful term used by the Tantra philosophy, Pratyabhijna. Therefore, the Kashmir Shaivism many times gets called Pratyabhijna Shastra. It is a Pratyabhijna Shastra because it is brings us the recognition that we are that. You recognize, oh, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am the all-pervading self. And then with that recognition, all riddles are solved. No riddle remains unsolved. So this is how this recognition is so important, that so this recognition is one important way to understand that there is this unchanging, one without second self, always manifesting. It is always there. Whatever happens, it doesn't change. You are seeing so many changes. The world means change. So the world has to change. How much have it changed? When I came to this center first in 2001, July, and then that portion was there. Atmajnananji with his very customary, informal, welcoming spirit welcomed me. With me were, I was in a group, myself, Tyagananda and Nirmal Atmananda. I think I still have that photograph of all four of us. So, now things have undergone such tremendous change. And still it is the same. I recognize that it is the same ashrama, it is the same Atmajnananandaji, and so forth. How do I recognize there is something that does not change? And this is that very important way to approach the truth. This is the Guru that does not change at all. So the idea of Guru is so beautifully expressed in this that now we will go to the 7th verse, that it does not change even though our personality changes. It undergoes through various states. They are described here. Balyadeshvapi jagradadeshu tatha sarvasvavasthasvapi vyavrittasvanuvartamanamahamiti antasphurantam sada swatmanam pragati karoti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Obeisance to Sri Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru, who by the auspicious mudra, it is that Bhadra mudra, it is called that Chinmay mudra, it is, or Jnana mudra. So, it is your this thumb and then the ring finger. So, Chin mudra. So, with that Chin mudra, it gives you the blessings through that. So, obeisance to Sri Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru, who by auspicious mudra, there is a footnote here on mudras. Mudras are certain mystic poses of fingers and hands. Sometimes a mudra is defined as that which gives pleasure. Mudam rati mudra to the gods and make their heart melt out of compassion. Sculptured images of gods invariably exhibit mudras. Dakshinamurti is usually shown with Chin mudra or Jnana mudra, the pose indicating transmitting of wisdom. So, this mudra, it is revealing to his votaries his own self, which is persistently present as the eye, always shining inside in all the various and mutually exclusive states like childhood, etc., and also waking, etc. These states are mutually exclusive. You are a child or you are a grown-up person. There is no mixing up about that. Or you are an old person. So, yet I remain the same. It does not get vitiated because of the change of the states. It is, yes, the one who was a child gradually becomes a grown-up person, and then that grown-up person gets great and becomes an old person. So now the states are different, distinct, but it is what pervades all these states without any change is this Atman. That is the Guru Murti that pervades all these states. So, anuvartamanam, how you see it? Ahamiti, I am. Vedanta emphasizes this experience very much. I am. That a primary experience, I am, and that does not go away. I am not is not the experience. I am is the experience. It is always present experience. I am. The other things change, other things come and go. It is like I am healthy, that health, one becomes, that attacked by a disease, and that I am sick. But I remain the same, I am. Other things attach or go away. I took medication, and then now I am fine. So again I am. This cannot be gotten rid of. I am is always there. When Moses saw God in a burning bush, that is the biblical story, very philosophical, and asked, "Who are you?" This was the answer. I am that I am. Don't attach any description to me. It is the only description, I am, this amness. So, ahamiti antasphurantam sada. Even if you say, no, I am not, there is that antasphurantam. Inside you know that you are. Who is saying that I am not? Even to say that I don't exist, there has to be an I. So who says I don't exist? So it is, this is how Swatmanam prakati karoti bhajatam. Those who thus worship this Guru as the Self, that Guru reveals to us like this, the all-pervading reality. To that Guru Murti, to that Dakshinamurti, be my salutations. So, the states change. You may be in waking state, dreaming state, or sleeping state. Yet, I remain the same. It does not change. Oh, I was dreaming. You don't say somebody else was dreaming. Even though the dreaming, that state was different. You were sleeping nicely in the bed, the body was there. And then you started suddenly seeing that you are in some other place, and somehow there is that some other creature has appeared there on which you are riding, and then visiting many different places. So, all this, and then somebody asks, why, what was happening? Oh, I was dreaming. Not somebody else is dreaming. I was awake, was seeing the dream, and I went to bed, and I woke up. I was in deep sleep, I was in dream, I was in waking state, that I remains the same. The states change. So, this is an important point to be noted, that sameness of the Atman, that does not change at all. So, therefore, none of the states is I. I pervades all states which are subject to change. So, this awareness about the change and not change, this discernment has to be practiced. What changes and what doesn't change. Many times one says that I want to lead spiritual life. What it essentially means is that I want my life to be centered around that which does not change. Matter changes, so materialistic life is that which runs after changes. Spiritual life is that centered around that which does not change at all. So this is this Dakshinamurti, and he manifests as the knowledge. So, there is a commentary here by the translator that there are so many different theories about that it is about the bondage and liberation. Look, there is always one to justify or juxtapose with other. There is no independence in any of these things. That it is like if I say, Arundhati, where does she work? She works in NIH. What is NIH? Where Arundhati works. So it is, that doesn't illumine at all, they are connected with each other. A lives across B's house. B, where does B live? Across the A's house. So, and where do both live? Tell me. Both live across each other. So again the same, you do not get any illumination. Vishvam pashyati karya karanataya swaswami sambandhatah shishyacharya tathaiva pitruputradhyatmana bhedatah swapne jagrati vaya esha purusho maya paribhramitah tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Obeisance to Sri Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru, who, as this person, being deluded by Maya, sees the world both in sleep and in waking state as full of differences brought about by such relationships as cause and effect. And they are mutual. You cannot determine exactly what is cause and what is effect. It is like that chicken and egg thing, that who is cause of whom. So, property and owner, disciple and teacher, as also father, mother, and so forth. They are all the mutual and mutually dependent relationships. This is how the world is. There is the mutual connection here, relations here. And all of them, they come and go. But this is how the world is perceived in Maya or in ignorance. So, one is a teacher, another is a student. Now the student, without student there is no teacher. There is no student without the teacher. So they are all mutual, they stand or fall together. It is, there is the music and musician, that it is like Subhadraji, so is musician, so sings. When do you sing? Did you sing? No, I never sang. Then what is the meaning of being a singer? This word is meaningful only when singer means has been singing. If there is no singing, then there is no singer. And if there is singing, then there is singer. So, this is all mutually dependent world. One depends on another. One kind of proves another. And so there is no independent verification of it. Thus, that one being appears as all this. That is how the seers will come to conclusion that one who is the Guru, who gives the knowledge, and who is the Atman in all, that is appearing in all this duality. That duality or mutually, connected these duals. That like if you tear a paper, now you cannot tear only in one this thing, you have to tear, at least two pieces will be there. And then the two pieces, their angularities will merge into each other. So that is how this world is. They go into each other. The form and color and the eye, they get into each other. Because it is one thing that is kind of broken or torn into two. So their angularities go into each other. In Vedanta Sara book, this has been very nicely explained, that how that the organ and its object, and they get into each other, because that is they are the pieces of the same one. So this is the world like that somebody is father, and then whose father? There is the son or daughter whose father it is. That relationship is this mutual like that one and they justifies the other's name, the other justifies the first one's name. Father means there is some child, child means somebody's child. So, teacher and the student, Shishya Acharya, there is student and there is teacher, both are there. Thank you. So, Esha Purusho, that very one being is appearing as moving through Maya in this way, like you have that kaleidoscope, Have you seen kaleidoscope? The children and all, they see, very entertaining. As a child, I used to spend hours turning that and seeing different things. Millions of things, the different scenes could be produced by that. Now they appear to be real. What is there? Only a few small pieces of beads. And then they appear like that. So this universe is like that one reality appearing as all this and continuously changing. Everybody has a different view. Imagine, that you are having one view, the mosquito sitting on your person, will have completely different view of the world, isn't it? They will not have same worldview. Whose worldview is right? You cannot say. It is so. There is no such thing as in this world as absolutely right or absolutely wrong. It depends on from what angle you are perceiving it. It is like you may see that, oh, this physician who is administering me antibiotic to cure my disease, I had this infection, and so that physician did good to me. But then that bacteria that died, they won't thank the physician. This is weapons of mass destruction for them, you see. So from their point of view, it's a bad fellow. So a good, bad, all depends on how you look at it. So it is. We have already exceeded the time. I will take a few more minutes, Maharaj. This is last verse is coming, or last but one, that which again now both these verses, they mean that the same connection with the Kashmir Shaivism. Bhuram bhasya nalo nilombaramahar-natho himanshu puman ityabhati characharatmakamidam yasyaiva murtyashtakam nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrishatam yasmat parasmad vibho tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. This word vimarsha, this is very much used in the Kashmir Shaivism philosophy. That means by properly understanding things at depth and with clarity, that obeisance to Sri Dakshinamurti, who is the Guru, whose eightfold form is verily the world of the sentient and the insentient, comprising of earth, water, fire, air, sky, sun, moon, and human being, and beyond whom the greatest and omnipresent nothing else exists, according to the discerning people. This discerning is that vimarsha, that when you have this discernment, then you see it. We are not intellectuals, We are emotionals, and we do not go far enough in discernment. Because if we go far enough, then all our superstitions, because of which we get enjoyment in the world, all these superstitions will just collapse. These ideas will just collapse if we discern enough. So, if one goes, discerns enough, then Atman alone remains. Nothing else remains. And then, what about this, all these different things that appear? Let it appear, it doesn't hurt anything. There is the difference between the classical Vedantin and a Tantrika, like this Kashmir Shaiva, this spiritual person. They don't think that the world is unreal. The world is the wealth of that God. What does it matter if it is there or if it is gone? When you see the whole truth, then let the world be there or may not be there. It doesn't matter at all. that as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the same snake sometimes coiled and sometimes running about. What difference does it make? So it is, there is nothing else but that one divine being sometimes appears as all this, sometimes not appearing as all this. By appearing like this, it does not change at all. That is how even Jnaneshwar Maharaj, who belongs to this same order, that Kashmiri Shaiva order, says that what is wrong? The ocean is one, but has infinitely many waves. The oneness of the ocean doesn't get hurt by the manyness of the waves. If it is wearing all the decoration and ornaments of the waves, what does it matter? The world is just an ornament, a decoration of that one God. It neither adds anything to God, does not subtract anything from God. So, therefore they don't harp on unreality of the world. The world, there is manifestation of that one reality. Hold on to that one, and then you will be able to enjoy the world better. As Thakur used to say, that otherwise it is all that hut of deception. Otherwise it is mansion of mirth. When one sees the truth, it is mansion of mirth. That, it is all God appearing in all different forms. Then there is nothing bad or good. All is God. This is just a nice play that is going on. Nothing is real about it. It is a play, that's all. So this is a nice play. So we shall stop here. The last verse is again of the similar thought, that it is just the Aishwaryam Avyahatam. This is the automatic expression of that one divine principle, that there is nothing wrong about this world. It is just expression of the wealth. Like some very rich person has 50 mansions. What is wrong in that? It's wealth. So this is the wealth of God. This whole universe is Aishwaryam Avyahatam. It does not change. This whole magic show goes on. As Thakur used to say, that the magician alone is real. That there is an incident or a story, actually may not have been the actuality, that there is nothing happened like that, but one very famous magician, he was called by a king. In that feudal India, a lot of all small kingdoms were there. So one king called him and said, "Can you by magic recreate this scene of the First World War? Many of my friends, they went to that war, they fought there and died. So I want to get that scene of that war recreated. Can your magic recreate that scene?" And the magician said, "I think I will be able to do that. Give me a month's time." And then after 1 month, the magician reports to the king that, "Okay, yes, we can do that." And the king asked, can we video record it? That they like that movies, talkies and movies were there then. So can I make that kind of movie of your show so that again I will be able to see and show to other people? The magician said, you can do it, but it will not be of any use. And then the king did not listen to that. Lots of people were invited for that magic show, and for 1 hour that magician created a wonderful scene about that war. Everybody was feeling as it were the war is raging around them. The guns and all, they were being fired. People were getting wounded or killed. All that was happening. And all was getting that videographed. And then after the magic show was over, everybody was so happy that, oh great prowess, how could you do that? And then they saw the video. Video had nothing. Only the magician sitting on the stage. That was the video. Because the camera didn't get mesmerized. All those who were sitting there, they got hypnotized or mesmerized and started seeing all this thing. But the camera didn't get mesmerized, so the camera was showing what really is there. The magician. This is all glory only of that magician. That alone is. So let us see this truth that Thakur said, this is all magic. The magician alone is real. The God alone is real. The magic, one show comes, gone. Another show is shown, gone. That's it, There is nothing real about it. So we shall conclude this discussion here. There are a few verses which are about glorifying the Guru and so forth. I am looking at the clock, so now I must wind it here. And so my heartfelt thanks to Atma Jnananandji, Bhaswatanandji. Yeah, but you are doing the questions, isn't it? Huh?
I'll sit next to you and read them for you.
Oh, you will answer also the questions, isn't it? Yeah, right. So, very good. So, thank you all for giving a patient hearing to such a very philosophically rich and difficult to understand topic. My prayers to you, prayers to Shankaracharya, prayers to Sri Ramakrishna. May this Dakshinamurti bring the illumination in our life as well. You'll sit here, okay?
No, but I'll sit.
Okay. So another,
He does this for me when I go to Providence. So I agree.
he wants to wreak the revenge. Payback time, huh? Some time back, Sarva Priyananda's retreat like that, and we were sitting like that, and I told the audience that, see, Sarva Priyananda is my younger brother. He is much younger than me. So I will be giving him only the simple, easy questions. I will take the difficult questions on myself. But all the questions were so easy, so I went on, this is Sarvapriyananda, this is very easy, come on, answer. Then after 2-3 such things, now I understand what you mean.
This one is for you.
For me,
Yeah.
you see, 2 questions related. How to apply the principles of this Stotram practically to my life. If a person is, the first thing, the practical life, all Vedanta is for practically applying. That one reality alone is shining in all these forms. This we must try to see all the time. This is how we must learn to view that whenever you see some person, you see that person is really the self appearing like this. This is how practically it gets applied. The same one reality is in all different forms. So that is this thing that we need to learn. This is how the practical application is, that it never vanishes. We apply this actually when we see the movie. When we see the movie, we see lot of fire sometimes in the movie. Do you take the bottle that you have, water bottle, and pour the water there? You don't do that. You don't even call 911, there is a fire here. Why? Because you know that that fire is not real. The screen alone is real. If you pour water, only that screen is going to get wet. So this, we know this while seeing the movie. Now apply this on this movie, that's all. This is all a movie. The self is the same in all pictures. We are all pictures, you know. The same Atman is the screen that goes in all the pictures. Therefore, everybody says I. That is told in this Dakshinamurti, that I am. And the I in everyone is actually same. That is the screen that runs in and through everybody. This is the practice that we have to perform. And this alone will bring us the knowledge and happiness. Otherwise, we will be leading the same miserable life, getting caught into the appearance of the changing multiplicity and worrying that what will happen tomorrow. All this, I meet these days many who say who is going to become next president and so forth, as if your life depends on that. Well, so many things happen. See that the same Atman is running through all this movie. And learn to watch it as a movie. This is the practically one can make use of this. If a person is in some deep trouble, like in some
War-torn
region, and is suffering because of others, how can that person apply such a stotram to that life? That is where the application is to be done. It is, you may say it is difficult, but that is where it is necessary also. That in a difficult situation, in a war-torn region, that this is also the part of this great movie going on, you are suffering. But see, people go to see the war movies, most popular. So they rush to watch those movies. Think that is going on. The world always will have wars. It is good to think that there will be peace and no wars. But if you see history, there is no time when there were no wars. Some wars always were going on. There is no place or time when the wars will not be there. In our mind itself, so much war goes on. Is this right or not? We get confused so many times because of the conflicting ideas that we get. That is the war within. So, it is all war-torn region. And what should be done? This knowledge is the only remedy, friends. You may think it is difficult to apply. There is nothing simpler. All other things that you may take as simpler, they are not remedies at all. They are not going to solve the problem. One of our Swamis, he himself told this nice incident that he went to shop to buy an umbrella, and then in the shop there were many different types. So one was priced at that time 40 rupees, and then another was priced 20, another was priced 10. He thought, hey, let me have the cheap one, inexpensive. So he asked the owner, why this is so inexpensive, so cheap? He said, well, actually, it leaks, you know. So he thought that how much it is going to leak, let me have this. And then, well, it was no umbrella at all for the rains. The water started, the fellow got all wet. So therefore he used to tell that if you go for cheap, this is what you get. It is, so therefore you may get a cheap solution for that problem, that you don't have to apply this knowledge. But it will not work. We get such solutions from, that people, that, oh, you are having this suffering, go to Hawaii for some days. And then what? In Hawaii also you have the same problems. You curse people there also, and come back the same fellow. So it is not a solution. The solution is to see the truth. One has to be courageous. Why Swami Vivekananda always mentioned, be strong, be courageous. The religion is not for the weak and coward. One has to be courageous. This world is not for the weaklings. One has to be courageous. And this is simple, very simple. See, the truth is truth. Whether I like it or I don't like it, it is true. Whether I can implement it or I cannot implement it, it still is true. You cannot run away from this. That is the fact. So, this is how it goes. I used to go to mobile dispensary and then to that villages, and the doctor was very nice, would talk to the villagers in their language, and then would ask, hey, so did you take the medicine? Because the person would complain, no, I still am having the problem. Did you take the medicine? No, I did not take. I took one day, then the next day I forgot. Then that afterward will tell the villagers are very good at telling nice stories, Oh, then, my daughter, she had invited me. My daughter, how nice she is, and so forth. So the description of daughter will go for 2-3 minutes. And the doctor said, well, the medicine has to be taken. Our medicines work only if you take it. Otherwise, they don't work. Don't tell me the reasons why you didn't take it. It is whatever may be the reason, but they work only if you take it. So this knowledge is such that whether you like it or not, whether it is easy or difficult, whether you have the time or not, this is the solution. It is actually easy to apply, and that will liberate us. Done. Now next is yours, isn't
I
it?
didn't find a single question that I could answer.
Oh no, Maharaj.
I'm 100% serious.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really
See,
serious.
everybody laughed that
They're
there
laughing,
questions-
they're laughing, but...
Are there questions
Yeah.
that you cannot answer?
No, not a single one.
Oh, no.
Because for me, these are all, we have different spiritual attitudes and things. I don't look at this from that same point of view. Is it correct to think we're in Brahman's dream? There's no correct or not correct. If it appeals to us and that helps us in our spiritual life, then it's okay. I don't view these things from that correct, incorrect. Sri Ramakrishna emphasized this idea that we all have a spiritual attitude that works for us. And that we have to choose that one. For some of us, it won't have anything to do with philosophy. For some, it'll be strictly a devotional thing. For some, it'll be strictly meditative. Let me not try to understand these things through the mind. Let me go a little bit deeper. So a question like this, I don't know how to answer it.
What is the question,
Is it
Maharaj?
correct to think that we are in Brahman's dream? Yeah. Swamiji in one of his poems says exactly that in Brahman is Maya dreaming all of this dream. So we can, if we like that, if that appeals to us, it's not helpful for everybody. This question of this world, is it real, is it unreal? These are highly emotive questions. I don't see that there's any absolute answer to any of these things. It depends on our definition of real. It depends on what appeals to us. If we say that it's unreal and we become escapists and don't care about anybody else, it's not good. If we say that it's real and we get attached to everything, it's not good. So we have to be very clear about this. The whole philosophy is speculative. It's not science. And we have to judge everything, how consistent it is. If we like this particular path, is it consistent? Does it appeal to us? Are we qualified for it? These were the two things that Sri Ramakrishna always talked about, that ruchi bheda, that it has to appeal to us, and we have to have the adhikara. We have to be qualified to fully understand these things. Otherwise, we end up with this undigested Vedanta, and we can make a mess of all of this. So we have to be very clear about these things, that, yeah, is this a helpful idea for me to look at the world this way? Is it helpful for me to think that I can shoot somebody and it's just like shooting in a movie theater? Is it helpful? we have to really ask ourselves these questions. What's good for us in our spiritual life? And to me, this was the genius of Sri Ramakrishna. Jaman bhav temni labh, that according to our spiritual attitude, it'll be helpful for us or not helpful for us. This jnana yoga, very few people can have this as their sole path. Now, we all need to know these principles. They're very important and very helpful. But in our practical spiritual life, some of us are better off just saying that everything is mother's will. Somebody else can say everything is karma. There are all different ways of looking at it. So I just want to emphasize this idea. Don't think in terms of correct or incorrect. That these are different views, different ways we can look at this mysterious universe. We can look at this and throw up our hands and say, no, Thakur says, the mind is like a small container. We're trying to pour a huge amount into it. It's very, very limited in our ability to understand all of these things. This is not to say that we shouldn't try. And by this type of study, we can really get that conviction of the real nature of the unchanging self within. We can start to understand that all sense of fear and anxiety and everything is false identification with all these external things and everything. But to think that we can understand this nature of this external world, how it comes into existence, and is it appearance, is it evolution? Well, all these are different theories that we have. Even we say in with this one hymn, we have both ideas, that things are evolving and then it's just appearance. Now, philosophers will argue and say these are contradictory, but there are different ways of looking at things. There's no final, Maharaj was saying that, there's no final one answer. That this is why we bring in this idea of Maya, because it's impossible for us to come up with one philosophical system that everyone will accept and has no flaws to it. So most of these questions are like that.
So very good, Maharaj. You answered it so well.
Anyhow, you can try some of these others.
Okay. Am I, the small self, consciousness or what is it?
Reflective consciousness.
Or reflective consciousness. Reflections are insertions or inert non-conscious. Reflections are inert non-conscious. Yeah, it is the small I is reflective consciousness which gets associated with body, mind and such things. So it is not pure consciousness. The pure consciousness is embedded in all reflective consciousness as well. But a reflective consciousness is not covering the pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is in reflective consciousness also. Like in the mirror you see the reflection, but the true image is there, of which this is reflection. The reflection, whatever you do to the reflection, that true person whose image it is, that will not have any impact. But when the true person changes, the reflection will have the impact. So reflective eye is like that. So is it inert? Depends on again what Maharaj was saying. To understand the word inert, what is inert? It is non-consciousness, reflections they are not inert because this true consciousness is embedded in all that. So in that sense they are not inert. It is all pervasive. So just as the same analogy that the pictures on the screen are not unreal completely because the real screen is in them. That is why they are appearing. But as pictures only, they are not real. So this is about this reflected eye. That also is real because there is the true I pervading that. So only from that angle it is real too. Your take, Maharaj, on this?
Yeah, I'll just repeat what I said before. That you asked someone, Shankaracharya, this question, you ask Ramanuja this question, you ask Madhva this question, you'll get 3 different answers. Yeah, the Advaitic point of view will be that the real I within me is not even a reflection. It is Brahman. See, when we have this Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha, that If the character in the dream wakes up, the character in the dream won't say that I dreamt some reflection of myself. No, it was me. The same I in the dream is the same I in the waking state, the same I as the sleeper and everything. Others may say that it's a projection. There'll be all different theories about these things, and they all make sense. And see, this was the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna, how he could explain things in terms of this Vishishta Dvaita Vedanta, with the belled fruit, and each jiva is separate and individual. All the different seeds are there. He liked that idea. At the same time, he'll say that this ego is like a stick and it's on the ocean, and really there's only the ocean of consciousness. He likes that idea. He doesn't say one is right and one is wrong, that they suit different temperaments, and they all have an element of truth, but truth doesn't come in theories. Truth is not to be found in philosophy or principle. Truth is in realization. This Swamiji says this so clearly also, that it's not to be found in dogmas and doctrines, that it has to come from and after direct realization, even then, all these great souls can explain it differently. That yes, there's a multiplicity of selves, but each one is perfect, each one, and others will say, no, there's only one real self reflected in others. Who's to say that truth is beyond? I'll just say one last thing, because they've heard me say this many times, that I like very much. That when Sri Ramakrishna talks about the 10 containers of water and the sun, and how many suns do you see? You see 11 suns, the 10 reflected suns and one real sun. If you break all but one, he's asking now, Girish, how many suns do you see? One reflected sun, one real sun. Then break that last one. How many suns do you see? So Girish says one sun, the real sun. Thakur says no. That who was there to say at that point? There's no one to say. Is it one? Is it many? Does it not exist? Is it Sud? Is it Asa? Beyond? There's no one there to say at that time. So all of our knowledge is from that relative point of view within this structure of Maya. And it's like the salt doll. The salt doll can't say what that experience is like at the very depths. And certainly can't put it into any philosophical system that will be appealing to everybody, and that will be perfectly foolproof. Every philosophical system has some strong points and some weak points. Really, yeah.
So next one, Maharaj.
Yeah. Okay, so in the 6th verse, does Rahu represent desire? Let's go directly to the...
It represents the ignorance of the truth, because of which desires arise. When my omnipotence and my perfection is covered, I am not aware of that perfection. Then I see I and world, and then I run after the world. I try to appropriate things from the world because I feel I am imperfect. So a man would try to add a woman to him so that he will become perfect. Similarly, a woman will try to add a man so that it will become perfect. It is not the way to become perfect. By ignorance it appears like that. That is, the analogy of Rahu is given there, that by the Rahu, that like in the when there is that eclipse, then it is said Rahu, Ketu, they have covered the sun or the moon there. So similarly, this is an analogy, not to be stressed too much. The desires come because of that covering. You are not aware of your perfection. The perfection is there but not available to you. You are not seeing it. And then you start running after things in the world. So that is described there. Yeah.
I found one I can try to answer.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you explain further the concept of working/open eye meditation. What is the best way to practice this? Yeah, meditation, as we normally understand it, involves withdrawing the mind from the senses. Automatically it means we're sitting and our eyes are closed. And so this isn't meditation in exactly the same sense, but if two things. If we practice meditation in the morning and let it carry over, let that kind of glow of meditation remain with us, let part of the mind remain like that, because we have to function, we have to do the other things while we're working and everything, but let part of the mind feel that joy of meditation. If we do some type of devotional meditation, then we can really feel that we've finished our meditation, we've left the presence of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, Shiva, Kali, Durga, whatever our meditation is, and let the mind think, let me go back again, let me remember, let the mind dwell on that, the same way that all the direct disciples felt when they left Sri Ramakrishna's room. They said the whole mind was thinking, when will we go back again? So to let this spinning wheel of meditation, don't let it stop. Let the part of the mind remain in that same mood, with that same remembrance. If we're jnanis, then try to feel that, yes, I'm the self, to be the observer throughout the day. So to keep part of that mind in the meditative mood, but at the same time, to focus our minds on whatever we have to do, so that we're not lax in any of our duties or obligations. If we can do this type of meditation, concentration of mind, we should be able to be more efficient and be more successful in the things that we do in the world, because the mind will be concentrated. And we hear that if we just keep a small portion of the mind on the work at hand, that we'll be very efficient with it. So let the mind constantly have that thought, either of the Ishta Devata, if we're more devotional, or that feeling that I am the self, I am the witness, I'm unchanged no matter what happens, that I'm the observer. Let part of the mind remain with that, and then the rest of the mind, let it do our work in the world. And we'll find that we can do it very efficiently.
Correct.
Is it possible to realize the mirror without samadhi? Does the screen have to shut down?
Yes, to some extent that is true. That for many, unless the screen is shut, the movie is shut, they will not be able to see the screen. But once they see the screen, then even if the movie is going on, they will not lose this knowledge that it is all screen. It is not real. So that is how the mirror or the screen analogy is used. That it is that is how people withdraw the senses, try to go in samadhi, and thus all the pictures are effaced and only the screen remains. Now you are sure that the screen is there. Now, even when the pictures appear, you know that there is this screen, that alone is real. The pictures, they will come, they will go. Thus, you are not valuing those pictures as real. In my childhood, I would see some movie and then some very sad scenes, and in the movie they are made more sad, It is, the exaggeration is added to that. So, and I would start crying. And then my mom would say, it is only the screen is there. This is not real, this is screen. It will be all over in 1 hour and we will be going home. So it is, then gradually you see the more movies and you know that it is screen, it is not real. When you know that, then you are not deceived. But initially, yes, for most of us, the samadhi experience is needed. Withdrawal of the senses from this world is needed so that this conviction becomes established in us. Okay, Maharaj. Yeah.
You mentioned scripture as primary pramana for us. How can a scripture claim something and substantiate itself as true? I can answer this. Yeah. When we talk about Shruti and the authoritative nature of Shruti, it's because these are experiences. These are the words of realized souls. It's not simply that it's written in a book. It's not simply that, my Bible, my Quran, so it says that it has to be true. That this is something that has actually been experienced by these great sages. When we talk about this Shruti, this Shabda as a pramana for Vedanta, we really mean the Upanishads, and we really mean these Mahavakyas in particular. So that realization of the absolute oneness is something that the authority of that is not based on the fact that somebody just decided to write it down. It's based on the fact that this was experienced, and experienced in such a way that it was transformative, and that it removed all doubt and burned up all karma in such a way that we can have some type of faith, but ultimately we have to substantiate it ourselves. So this anubhuti, this is something that we have to do, but this should give us some conviction and some shraddha, some faith that this is something legitimate, this is something that can be realized, this is something that can transform us, and this is something that's valuable enough that we can make this our life's goal.
Yes.
Anything to add?
Oh, well, Sri
Yeah.
Ramakrishna told Naren that, yes, I see God clearer than what I see you. And if you want to see and if you do what I tell you, you will also be able to see. So everybody can verify the statements of the scriptures if they put themselves to all that ardorous engagement with scriptures. Everybody has right to realize it. So,
We can, if anybody just wants to raise their hand and ask anything. Yeah, we've gone through all the written questions. Then we can stop now. Yeah,
not
sound
that
good.
they have to dig out questions.
Yeah.
It is.
Just a clarification
Uh-huh.
of what you were saying, that how to identify that fine line between escapism and versus seeing the unreal. That how do we deal with the sense of duty, taking action?
Yeah, Sri Ramakrishna did not emphasize this idea of looking upon the world as unreal for householders especially. And those who have obligations and duties in the world should perform all of them, knowing that everything is temporary and passing. This is why almost always he substitutes anitya for mithya. Very rarely does Thakur say Jagat mithya unless he's quoting the Gyanis. Otherwise he'll say, look at this world is transitory and nothing to really hold on to. It's a passing show. But at the same time, we have to take care of all of our obligations and do everything that way. And even for sadhus, the sadhus of our order, we also don't do that. We engage ourselves in social uplift work and other things like that. There'll be a certain class of sadhu that will go off into a mountain cave and will completely withdraw. And they can also have the highest type of realization. But it depends what class we belong to. So it's not for everybody to dismiss this world as unreal. As Sri Ramakrishna, he never says that that's a bad attitude. He says, I don't like that. He says, I don't like to call this world unreal like a dream. He liked this idea of engagement in the world without attachment. Yeah, this is the goal of ideal of Gita when we read the Bhagavad Gita and everything. Yeah.
In the context of solved versus dissolved, as you were explaining in one of
Yeah, it is. But when you are seeing it, you cannot stop your efforts to solve it. It is, ultimately it will be dissolved, not solved. But you continue your efforts, and that is where, if you are seeing and yet not trying to solve, then that is escapism. You try to escape. Let me tell you a short, that very nice incident. Our senior Swami in Nagpur, then Yogatmananda, he had a heart attack. And then Atmasthananji was those days assistant secretary. He called and told me, hey, please take good care of that Swami. Don't spare any efforts. Bring doctor from anywhere if you need to, but do not spare any efforts in treating that venerable Swami. And I tried to just say, yes, we are doing whatever we can. It is after all Sri Ramakrishna that will decide. See, I am not as spiritual as you are. I don't see Sri Ramakrishna. I see only you. I will hold you responsible. So no chance of escapism. It is when that, to the extent that you have your efforts possible, do it. Do not at that time try to escape from it. After all, it is all God's wish. No. Do your duty. Your efforts are important.
Swamiji says, when we have something that we have to do, feel like everything is in our hands. Everything is absolutely up to us. Don't blame any. When it comes to the results, think everything is in God's hands.
Very
Yeah.
correct.
Good. So, Maharaj, now it's time for me to thank you. There's a highly thought-provoking topic that you chose, and I think that everyone will have a lot of food for thought. You can go back and think about these things very deeply. These are things to be considered at the time of meditation, really. At the time of meditation, when we can really try to feel these things. Feel that the only ultimate reality is that self within, and let everything else go. When we get up and we have to feed the kids and do all of that, then we can be a little bit dualistic and everything, but at least at that time of meditation, that we can feel the truth of all of this. Everything is a passing show. Whether we say appearance, whether we say, however we understand it, it's anitya, it's a passing show, and the real self is not subject to all of these things that the mind is subject to. That all these feelings of anxiety and frustration and fear and envy and anger, all of these things belong to the mind. I'm the witness. I'm something beyond that. Tremendous strength comes from all of this. This is the main advantage, I feel, to all of this, that strength comes. Swamiji always felt that this Atman is not to be understood simply in terms of this pure consciousness, but the source of strength, the source of power, if we can really identify with that. So all of these things are extremely helpful. This beautiful hymn. This question of metaphysical status of this universe, let these other people try to figure it out. It's a dead end. It's a dead end. Yeah. So Maharaj, wonderful. We all enjoyed it very much. I could see how everyone paid so much attention, and it was really wonderful retreat. Now we have 1 hour until we have our Arati. So I hope that most of you can stay. And then at 7:30, we'll get set up a little early. So 7:30 we'll begin our concert for tonight. And Subhadra ji is here. I'll introduce her later, but she's such a joy to have with us that really we've been trying to arrange this for many, many years now to get her visa, to get her to come here. So I'm personally delighted. And of course, she sings like an angel. We know that. So I'm really looking forward to her singing tonight. And I know that Swamiji is also looking forward to it. We specially arranged it so that it would be during his retreat. Yeah. So now you're a little bit free. If anybody wants to have another cup of tea or something, I think things are still there, and then we'll get set up and we'll have Arati at 6:30. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very good.
Again, on happiness, how to be happy. Huh? What is the title?
Something like that. Becoming happy.
Becoming happy.
Becoming happy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those who want to become happy are welcome to. Those who want to become miserable need not show up.